And I'm excited because today I have my friend Nana from Georgia joining me. Hi, Nana.
Hi.
Hi. Nana's been on quite an inward journey, on the spiritual journey, and we thought we would join today, and maybe you could share a little bit about how that journey has gone for you, because yeah, I'm sure people are interested too, being from Georgia, which is really like pretty close to the Middle East. This is probably the first interview I've had with somebody from over there. I've had a friend who was at Assisi, where St. Francis was, and I had a friend, Amanda, from the cave of Mary Magdalene. But you're a little closer to where Jesus walked. that's kind of that's kind of exciting. How has it been for you on this spiritual journey?
Oh, it's I don't know. I don't know really describes how it feels to me. Um, yeah, I don't even know what to share, but um, yeah, it's different because I don't really have anyone. Like my mom does the course as well, but other than that, no one is really interested in this kind of thing. But even the spirituality, but I think it's just my perception. But um, yeah, when I was at university, I think that I think I was always searching and I always felt connected to Jesus, but that spiritual searching or seeking phase started, I think, when I was at university. And I was reading different things. Um, yeah, and then when I finished the university, I knew that I didn't want to continue studying. I thought I had this prayer like I want to do whatever I feel in my heart to do.
Mm.
So, but at the time I didn't feel anything. So it's just okay. I'm just gonna stop. So I went deeper and deeper into that, and even before the course, I was into new age things. I was listening to some people, and I was like, I was aware of my emotions, and many different things were coming up, like in terms of emotions, and like I got to the point when I didn't know how to deal with those emotions, like a lot of guilt and fear and different things. And I felt like even listening to those people was not helpful anymore. I was like, okay, I'm listening to this video and it helps at this moment, but when it's finished and it's I watched it, like then I don't have anything to focus on. So I was like really praying for. It was like at that time I was praying to my spirit guides,
Mm.
but I was really praying like I need something. Like I have all these emotions, like intensity coming up, and I need something um, that will be helpful for this, how to deal with these emotions. Like I need something that will work. I don't want those kind of love and light, those kind of things. I can't read those kind of things anymore. Like I want something practical. And then after that, like that moment, I think like in a week or so I just found the course. And I
Wow.
was really suspicious. I had a lot of resistance. I was like, what is this thing? Like, can I read it? Like, is this weird? Like, because I read a lot of weird things.
Yeah.
It was like new age stuff and everything. It's really aliens and everything. I was into those kind of things. But I was like, I was very suspicious. But I started with the workbook. I have not read anything. I just started with the workbook, but I was giving everything to it. Like every lesson, I was just fully immersing myself into it, and I was using every like those kind of workbook lessons for every emotions that was coming up. And I think after 10 days, like after working like with the course, I was like, this is really working. This works. So that was like what I needed, I guess. Like I didn't need any practical like theory of something. I needed something that would work. And after I gave my mind to every lesson, it worked. And I was like, okay. And then I started reading the course after several months. I found you. Like I had you. Like I saw your account, but I was like, you have the like smiling image on the account. was like,
Yeah.
why is he smiling? I
What's
didn't
so
like that. Why is he laughing? So I was like, I think I had resistance, yeah, but I listened to something, one video, it's really touched me, and I just, yeah, I just started listening to you, and I was learning a lot of things from you because I have not even read the course completely. I just read some chapters, so the ideas that we are like later in the course was coming from you. Like I was hearing about them from you for the first time, so it was really interesting, and I feel like it was a shortcut. Like instead of me figuring out what meant like those what were those ideas, I was like, you were giving me like really clear explanation. So it was really beautiful, and even after the course, like I started the course, I felt like um, drawn to Jesus more and more because from my childhood, like from the childhood, that I felt really connected to Jesus, but I had a lot of unworthiness. I thought like, okay, like this small girl, like what Jesus can has to do with me? Like I'm not important, and all the unworthiness. But I feel like he was always on my mind because I was just inspired by him, the love that he symbolized, really. And I think at the end of every day, there was no day when he would not come to my mind. Like I just he would always come to my mind, even when I was just before I would go to sleep. Like, oh Jesus. And even when I was afraid or something, he was like, I was just praying and praying and praying. So in that way, I felt always connected to him, but I had that kind of block of unworthiness, which I still have. I feel like I moved through that emotion, but I had that as well. But I had beautiful experiences with him even before the course, when I was just praying. I would just pray for skills. Like I wanted to express myself in some way, and I would just pray, oh Jesus, I want to write something. I want to express myself that way. And after some time, I would find myself just writing and writing and writing and finding new words and new ways to express myself. And same with the paintings. Like I would just say that I want to paint, Jesus. I want to paint, and then it would happen after some time. I would just start, like, felt inspired to paint, and to me it was a miracle. Like I was saying to my friend, like I believe in miracles. Like those kind of things happen to me.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of on and off relationship or connection with him. And just before I found the course, I like he was coming from every angle, like even the videos, YouTube videos, he was appearing everywhere. Everyone was channeling him basically. And I was like, what is happening? And even the books that I would read, like there would be his name, like Jesus, and it was like, it would be so emphasized in my mind. It would feel so sparkly. And after I found the course, it was like a permission. Everything that was said in the course in the beginning chapters, it just gave me permission to connect with him more deeply. So every day I would feel drawn to just stay and meditate on him, like his name, like just his presence. And that after that, like my heart started opening up and feeling his presence more and more. And then I found you, and I found the community, and like I applied for a volunteer program, and everything unfolded from there. But yeah, it's for me, everything is based on the connection with Jesus, because when I'm going through the intensity, like I can't really focus on any ideas, I can't really focus on anything. I just have this desire to feel connected, and I always wanted to. I would just dream, like I wish I was born 2,000 years ago, and I would be disciple of Jesus. And now I feel like that's what is happening. He's not physically like here, but that's what I feel like that's the call for me, and that's what inspires me really to connect with him and to live for him. I feel like on my life, when I want my life to be the demonstration of his presence, and yeah, to just give my life to him and just to feel his presence, to hear his voice, and to follow his guidance. That's what really what touches my heart. And then I sometimes I receive these thoughts from him, like, yes, whatever you want in your heart, really, really want, that's what your life is about. And sometimes ego can come in like, that's impossible, that feels too high, or you are too unworthy to hear his voice, or whatever. But then it always comes back, whatever you want in your heart, that's what your life is for. And that's possible because you want it in your heart. That's what your life is about. And I'm like, oh yes, thank you. And all these ideas, that what really comes as a feeling is like, it's already done. It's like, it's already happened. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a feeling. And it always comes, like, I don't know, whenever I connect with him, like, you can just relax. This is already done. You can just relax. You can just relax. That's what I receive. I guess that's what is the most helpful thing, to just release anxiety and the thought that I have to do something, really. And yeah.
That's comforting. It is done. It is done. It's like the
Yeah.
prayer, thy will be done. And then Jesus keeps saying it is done. So it comes with a relaxation, I think. Yeah. And it's so beautiful because that the prayer of your heart sounds like a prayer. I think I remember reading in the Bible where Jesus was saying something to the effect of, if anyone should ask something of me and ask truly, it is done. It shall be given. It's that sincere heart, just the prayer of the heart. And it sounds like you have such a great connection with Jesus even before you go to sleep. You know, you feel his presence. You can say anything to Jesus. You can receive the nurturing reassurance, and and now I think like you're sharing, like everyone, we kind of get activated to be a disciple, or to be the extension of Jesus on earth. And so I know this morning you had messaged me and said you had a social media call. So you had a little conversation. And how does that go for you? It's just an open meeting with lots of things that are shared, or some ideas, or some function. Is it something where you feel like you're extending? Is it something where you feel Jesus is able to come through you in that way, to extend like an invitation?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's like, I feel like that was like, and is part of my mind training, um like that, even to get in touch with the intuition, and like the steps to take, even smallest things, like when you design, when I'm working on the design or something, on the image or quotes, like everything, it comes down to that, like, what do I feel in my heart, what, like, and the prayer and extension. And there is so much giving, like, and I feel like so grateful, like at this moment, like I connected with Marina, and I feel so grateful, because it feels like our hearts are joined. It's like my prayer is her prayer, and it's like this pure giving and this joining in mind. It feels so deep. And yeah, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, really. Even the whole team, really, how we connect, it gets deep, like the communication becomes more specific and more deep, and it's like we all want to go deeper, and it's just beautiful. I feel like that was like when I started, like, really volunteering, and even when I started the course, it was like I live with my family, so there are some things going on, like dramas or things coming up for me, emotions and everything, and it was like a huge part of like my mind training to focus on that, like extending, and to focus on Jesus, and to focus on connection, having calls, just joining and sharing thoughts and extending. So it was like it is blessing. And even just sharing, sometimes I'm like, how can I give Jesus? And there is something to share, and I just share and share, and it feels like extending, really. And then sometimes like, how can I give Jesus? And then something like call comes in or something. It's really like everything is given really. And even in terms of like healing, deep healing, like lately I went through so much healing even in that context of social media team. It was like, so I would like, there was this expression I think Jean shared during the retreat as well. We had a call and everything. Something was not moving and we joined, and the thing exploded in my mind. All this pride, like I saw all this pride and all this I know mind and how things work, and everything exploded, and I just cried. It was like a mask coming down, really. And after that, like I don't know, like, and now I don't feel like how anything works, how relationships work, how collaborations work, how should I express myself, which is the right thing, I don't know. It's like it comes down to the prayer again, because it felt so intense. It's like so much pride, but then the idea that I shared them and I exposed them openly felt so like, oh my God, I can't believe I can't believe I did that. And then it's like it still comes down to that connection with Jesus. So I went to, but like, because it feels intense, it's like such a heat really. And then like, oh, at some point I was like, oh, I need to go, like I need to go within. I need to anchor myself in Jesus' presence, otherwise it feels too intense and it feels like too much unworthiness. Then pride changes into unworthiness and everything, and it's like this comes down to prayer again, like, Jesus, like, what is your will for me and what would you have me do? Because I feel like that was like some kind of layer released. I feel like I'm now more clueless, but it's like for Jesus it's the best condition really to come through. So I'm like, now I'm clueless and I don't really know, and I'm like, I don't know, Jesus, I'm scared. So yeah, it's like I can't really believe that it was like just collaborating, like remote collaboration can be so deep, even just to share things, because I have this pattern of I can go out, it's like I can be seen, and then I have periods when I want to hide, and now it's like there are these functions in social media I can't really hide. Like Jesus is like, you need to share these. Go back, go back. I'm like, oh, it felt really helpful. It felt like coming out of that pattern of hiding and unworthiness, like even to be seen by people. Like, oh, ego loves that, of course. Oh, I do this important thing, but the flip side is like, oh, I'm seen, like, by all these people, like sharing all the time. It's like, oh my God, I want to hide, but it's like, no, like just keep going, keep sharing. So it was a huge lesson as well for me, like just showing up.
Yeah, and how Jesus can use social media. If you had a pattern or tendency to hide, wow, social media is what a tool to undo the hiding pattern. It just flips it on its head. Yeah. But it's beautiful too, because I think I just see your approach is really just your connection with Jesus. And I did a live very recently with Lucy Ricks, and she said, "Oh, there's from the same actor, Jonathan Rumi, who's on The Chosen, who plays Jesus. He's doing a movie. It's coming out like around February 23rd or somewhere between there and Easter." And so I clicked on it and I saw an interview, and the man who played Fraser Crane on TV, first in Cheers as a therapist, and then in his own show called Frasier, he was on there, and he was sharing that he was really questioning, did his career have any meaning? What's it all about? He got into one of those states of mind, wondering if his career had any worth. Is it finished? What's it all about? And then he just prayed, and he just said, please help me. Just please help me. And he was praying to Jesus. And then the next day, the producers or whatever of this movie that's coming out next year contacted him and said, we want you to be in the movie. And he had tears just sharing about it, because another man said, wow, that was really a direct answer to prayer. But it sounds like for you how it goes. You just have a running prayer with Jesus, and then when you need help or something, you ask. You ask, what is this for me, or can you help me with this? Be with me, or however it comes, and then you keep receiving answers, including the course. When you were saying, I need something practical, I need something more than just watching a video, I need something that will work, and then that's the best thing. Is it you're like, at first it was a little hesitation, because it's like, what is this thing? Is this another strange, weird thing? Which is not difficult to hear, because a lot of people have that reaction at first, like, what is this? But then, just because it worked, just because you started picking up and doing the lessons and they were working day by day, that says a lot. And it seems like that's a way to wake up, is just pray and see what works. And when it does work, stay with it. Just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like prayer is really like, prayers are always answered. I notice that more and more. Like every prayer I make, so even that thing that happened, the expression with in the social media, like I had prayers about communication. I had prayers about different things. Like I was like, Jesus, I want to let go of this. I want to let go of this. And then this explosion happened. I feel like I exposed this thing, like self-concept or something. Like every prayer is really, really answered, but not in the ways that we expect, because I did not expect that to happen to me either. Like sometimes you think that it will happen in a nice way, but sometimes something needs to be exposed, that needs to be exposed basically in order for you to be free. So even before the course, like I remember I was going to my teacher, and I loved walking, and I would just start, like when I would start walking, I would just ask a question in my mind, and I would just start walking and walking, and then I would receive the answer, and it would happen constantly, like, and I was like, oh my God, I'm receiving answers in my mind. But now it gets like deeper and deeper, like deeper questions and deeper prayers and deeper answers. So it's really like, yeah. And I feel like as I look back, like Jesus was always there guiding me, even in terms of expressing and releasing things. Before I joined like the community, before I had anyone to express my feelings or thoughts, I always loved writing, as I mentioned, but it kind of changed. And now I started writing about my feelings and all the thoughts that I had, and it would just feel like I would just release them. I would not take them seriously. So all these ideas, like how to use even writing or painting, I just started painting with black and white, really releasing dark emotions, and slowly it shifted, and I started using colors and everything. All those kind of details, I feel like, oh, Jesus was always guiding me, like always was there. So it's like, and now I see that all the prayers are really answered. Sometimes I'm like, I need to be careful with my prayers because it's really deep, and they are really always answered. And sometimes it takes patience, because sometimes I may have some ideas, like what is my prayer even about coming to Mexico and everything, and then it's like I feel like I can make a prayer, I can feel something in my heart, but I need to release that attachment as well. Like I need to release those expectations that something will be in a specific way, and I just need to accept whatever is given in this moment and just work, like accept the lesson basically, and like the lesson of love in this moment, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. So yeah, it's really deep.
That's beautiful. So it's able to work for you. You're living with your family there in Georgia. And did you start out when you went to university, did you come from Russia or Moscow? Where did you grow up? And then did your family migrate?
We moved here when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
So yeah, we lived here basically.
Yeah, so you've gone through all.
It was quite like divine arrangement, or I don't know how to say that. Like my family, we're not really going to stay here, but it so happened, like circumstances arranged in a way that we had to stay here. So yeah, I grew up here.
Yeah. That's kind of how it happened with Svava. She was born in Iceland, but then her family, her father was like a plumber, and the conditions working outside in Iceland as a plumber, outdoor plumbing with hot tubs or whatever, it just was too intense at some point. So the family migrated to Denmark with the intention of returning to Iceland, but never went back. So it seems like it's all part of a prearranged plan, like it's all done. And our job is to really just accept what's presented and given, and let the Spirit use all the symbols. And so it's worked very well. I know I stayed in my parents' basement for many years. I was reading, studying, doing so many things. I kind of moved from the bedroom down to the basement, and people would say, well, you're going to university and everything. Where are you living? You know, well, my parents' basement. And then it seemed even more important when I started to go deeper with the course, because it was like a little cave, an underground cave where I could just pray and pray as much as I needed to without concern for handling a lot of things. And so it really was actually a great blessing. I'm always grateful to Jesus for giving me that opportunity so I could go much deeper. And then, yeah, I think you've had that blessing as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I wanted to run away because all my deep emotions and hearts and those kind of things are coming, like really in these relationships, coming up in these relationships. And I wanted to run, but at some point I needed to accept that I'm here, so I should be here. So I needed to accept. And once, like, I feel like I started to extend my prayers in here as well. Like, Jesus, use everything that we are doing, even daily things, like things, small things that we are doing, like using that for guidance as well. Once I started doing that, and because my mom does the course as well, so I started joining with her as well, and it's like using everything for prayer and guidance. So once I started to include this space as well into that for guidance and to tune into the intuition, really, it's like shifted. And sometimes I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus, for keeping me here. Like, this is a miracle. And sometimes it's intense. I'm like, I want to run away. But yeah, it's like, then it came down to, okay, if I have this deep darkness triggered by them, then like if my purpose is healing, I want to heal this. So I'm gonna stay here as long as I need to stay here to heal and to look at all these things and to move all the things that need to come up. So yeah, it kind of shifted. Once my attitude shifted really, and I started accepting whatever was in front of me, all the relationships, and not thinking about what could be different. Once I did that, my experience with Jesus and the course changed really, like really changed. Because at the beginning I was angry, like because I wanted to be somewhere else, and now like it kind of shifted, and like I can be grateful where I am right now, and I can receive miracles here. I don't need to be anywhere else. So yeah, it's really beautiful. It's like we don't know what is best for us.
Yeah, for our best interest. Yeah. It's interesting. When I went to the Canary Islands one time to visit a friend of mine, she's now a pretty famous worldwide Spanish teacher of A Course in Miracles. Her name is Susana Ortiz. But when I went to visit her, her daughter, Claudia, wanted to take off school. She said, oh, David's coming, and we're going to spend about a week with David. And so her daughter, Claudia, said, well, I'm not going to school then. Wherever you're going with David, I'm going to be there too. And then her mother, who was very much into the course, well, I'm coming too. So we had the three generations in the car with me, taking me around the Gran Canaria. And I said, I'll be the DJ. I'll play the music on the radio. But that was three generations. So like with your mother, was she introduced to the course in some way through you, either directly or indirectly?
Yeah, I started when I started the course, like at the beginning, even when I started spirituality, I wanted to force anyone to like accept those ideas, but then I had to like let go, like no, it's just not for everyone. So I need to let go of control. So I was like reading the course really like all the time, and my mom would see it, and she would go like she had some intensities as well, like emotions and everything, and I could see she was searching for the answer, but I did not know if the course was the right answer for her, because I felt like it can be too radical for her. I don't know if she's ready or not. So it was my prayer was, okay, Jesus, it's up to you. I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to control the situation. I don't want to be the one who introduces the course and then like thinking if it's the right thing or not. Like, is she ready or not? So I just gave the situation like fully to Jesus, and she speaks right, like she speaks Georgian as well, but her language is Russian, so she does not understand English, and they're like she needed like Russian, like course in Russian as well. And I remember I asked Linda as well, like, is there any copy in Russian? And it did not work out either. Like nothing happened. So I was like, okay, Jesus, it's up to you. And then what happened was she found the course in Russian herself, and she found the people. I think they are connected to you in some way, or they are just listening to your teachings, like in Russia. So they are like, she found those people and she found the course. In some way, it's like she knew what I was reading. She could see it, but she was even asking me like different things, but I didn't know what if she was ready, or I didn't know how to answer. I was like, I don't want to be in charge of this. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want to decide anything, especially for someone else, seemingly. So it's like she found herself, basically, the course.
Yeah,
And then she found you as well. she
yeah, yeah.
she she listens to you all the time. She listens translation, like subtitles and everything. She reads them, and she really loves you, and she asks a lot of questions as
Yeah,
well. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not a teacher, I don't know what
yeah,
like I know, but I just accepted that role as well. At the beginning I had huge resistance, like, Jesus, I don't want to teach, I don't have the right answer, I feel lost myself, like I can't answer. But now it's just became an opportunity to join really and share whatever comes to my mind, and just I don't know, it's up to Jesus, whatever. So it's beautiful in a way. Yeah.
yeah. It's interesting, all these little connections, because I was traveling quite a few years ago, maybe in the early 2000s, down to Georgia in the United States, near Florida and and South Carolina and everything. And then I met a woman from Russia named Tanya Moldovan, down there, and she got so excited that she even invited me to come and do a retreat in Georgia, the Georgia down in the States. So I went there, I did it, and she got so excited that she said, I want to share this with all my friends in Russia. I have a lot of, I know of a lot of Course in Miracles students in Moscow and St. Petersburg. So please, how can I share these teachings? And I said, well, I have a lot of videos, but you could write to my friend JP, and he could tell you how to upload Russian translations, subtitles onto the videos. And then, yeah, I've heard that there's quite a few people still in Moscow and St. Petersburg that are following along. Quite a very earnest group that are studying and watching the videos. So now it comes full circle. Your mother, who moved to Georgia, is connected to me through Tanya, who I met in Georgia in the States. So Jesus is just using all the symbols in a kind of a playful way, like, haha, did you like that touch? Did you see that little one? It's like we don't know the big picture, but he's laughing all the time, making all these little connections for us.
Yeah. Yeah, even the like, I would never think that she would, like, any of my family members would be interested in the course. I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have any expectations, and it felt like, oh, this is so deep. I don't know if they will ever read it or will study it, but it was such a surprise, and it was just a witness to my mind because it's like now I can join with her. And like at the beginning, like with the people pleasing and everything, I had this huge wave. Like when I started saying no, like it was like a accepted rule, or I don't know. It's just to do for me to do things. Like I was expected to do things. So when I got in touch with the guilt and fear, and from like I was doing things from there, I just started saying no. She, at the beginning, before she found the course, she would say, "That's so selfish. Like, why? Like, what? It's like for family, you have to do these things." And I was just saying no. And then she found the course, and she was like, "Oh, now I understand. Now I understand why you were saying no." And now she started saying no as well. When she does not feel to do something, she just says no. So it was like such a shift. Like at the beginning, she was like, I don't understand. I want to understand you, but I really honestly don't understand. How can you do this? And then it's kind of shifted, and she was like, I understand now. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, beautiful
Well,
reflection.
that brings a warmth to my heart to know that over in your house in Georgia, the no people pleasing uh, thing is working out very well. And you started it with the no, and then your mom got into the course and was like, "Oh, now I see." And so, that's how prayers are answered. You let go of the expectations that your mom needed to understand or get into the course, and then you just practice yourself with your mind and your mind training, and then what a beautiful reflection that is now for you. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's beautiful and it's deep as well. Because when she says no, I have fear as well. I'm like, what will happen? This family will fall apart. I don't know what will happen, but it's so healing and so deep. It's like layers and layers and layers. So it's, yeah, really
Yeah,
deep.
yeah. Well, that's exciting. It just feels like you're just in a place now where you're able to share and extend. You've come to more acceptance with that. You've seen it instead of something you have to do. It's more the answer to prayer, and then that also leaves the future wide open, to wherever Jesus seems to want you to be, or how Jesus wants you to share. Then yeah, it's like that feeling of it's in your hands, Jesus. So you lead the way, and then you can feel very content when you're in that prayer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really feel like I want to be used, but then like, yeah, Jesus just use me, and I know that I will. It's like this like feeling that I will be used, but
Yeah.
this like everything needs time, like not time, but this patience, and everything happens at the perfect timing, with the perfect timing. And when like I need to go through healing right now, so it's perfect as well. So it's like I have a feeling that I don't know, I have a feeling that I will be used fully, but everything happens at the right time, and also not maybe in a way that I expect. So I'm just, yeah, I just focus on that, like, oh, this feeling is this knowing that I will be used, and I want to be used, and I want to live with that life. I just keeping this purpose and this connection in my heart, just focusing on that is really everything. Like it kind of releases all the fog and all
Yeah.
the doubt if I focus on that, and if
Yeah.
I commit to that fully, and if I trust, and if I know that I want this in my heart, so it will be done, and it is done, then it's gonna, I can relax now, and I can trust that the next step will be given. Like that's what I learn really all the time from you. It's like all the content that goes out from the social media is just for my mind. Like I just wake up sometimes, and if I have guilt, just Jesus just gives me this hint from your content. Like if you shared something during the workshop about innocence or something, it just comes to my mind, and
Mm.
I just make small snippet out of it. So it's like a huge way of extending even. And I always felt like I wanted to extend in a creative way, something that will have that element of creativeness. But I was like, I don't have anything like content, and now I have your content, everything that you share, and it's like, oh my god, there is this deep purpose and this deep content, and I can feel this fulfillment in my heart as well in terms of creativeness, and everything comes together, and just sharing, like when you feel inspired, you want to extend automatically. It just happens. You want to share the good news. So it's like then we share it, and it's so beautiful, and so it feels so content. Like, oh my gosh, this is so deep. It's like even Jesus knows my heart, what I want, because I did not have any intentions to do what I do, even in form, like even in terms of function. But it's just I was guided, and I was like step by step, and I was like, Jesus knows what I really want in my heart, even if I don't know, like even if I'm not aware of it. So it's really beautiful to observe that as well. Yeah.
I think a lot of us have had that feeling, like we know somewhere deep down that if I can share a deep content and it can have an artistic or expressive component married with it. Like when I would even do an early app where we would have a saying from me or the course come up with a beautiful image behind it, and then just go to the oracle or the moment, and another beautiful piece of art and another beautiful expression, and it being spontaneous. People tell me, yeah, oracle, that's not random. Wow, that's helped me every time I go to the oracle and I'm praying sincerely for help. And I think it's beautiful that you can do that, where, like you say, you don't really need to do it or send it unless you feel it. You feel the swirl in your heart, and that's what the whole thing's about, this intuitive connection where you feel this swirl of lightness and joy in your heart, and then it just automatically comes through and takes away this idea of a doer, that we've come to this world with the idea that we have to do things, we should do things, and this is washing it away. Like, sounds like every day you have more opportunities to just get rinsed in the mind.
And it gets at the beginning I wanted to do things, and I was doing a lot of things, but now it gets more and more subtle, and it's like it feels like mind becomes more sensitive, and it's like, oh, I don't really feel this, like even to make some kind of image, like not something does not click, so it does not feel good, so I just leave it. And it's just it feels like my mind becomes more less tolerant to do things out of the happiness, really. And I just want to do things when I feel them to do, and just to share from that place.
I think that's the key. You were talking about patience, but when you're prayerful and you let go of all the shoulds and ought tos and have tos, then what's left is this like flowering, warm, glowy feeling, which is really an extension of what's in your heart. And I think that's the big transition that human beings go through, where they just have to feel safe, and they give themselves permission and an allowance to just be 100% intuitive and just do what really feels right in the heart, without any second thought of bouncing it off of something or getting, oh, I need feedback for this, or is this okay? That thought disappears. Is this okay? when you're in your joy and you feel it, then that's everything. That's the whole thing right there.
I think you gave me permission to do that, because like I'm listening to your audios all the time, and it's like you talking about being intuitive. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. It's like a permission for my mind, because I don't have that kind of I did not have that kind of idea when I was growing up. Like, you have to do this because it's obligations. This is for the family. This is for this. This is for that. And listening to you is so like just changed my mind so much. Just listening to you, it's just, and giving my mind fully to those teachings, like being intuitive, like it feels so sparkly, and it's like so much in my heart. Like, yes, I want to do that. I want to do that, and also to notice the resistance to that as well. It's
Yeah.
this whole package, but yeah, it feels so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like that's become more and more like what I call it, like almost like a digital community. Because I used to, even years ago, I would ask the people, I'm here at the monastery, and I would ask if there was like 30 people here. I would say, how did you find me or this place? And like 95% of the people would say YouTube. I would say, really? I mean, I was kind of, wow, that's amazing. And then here you are in a rural monastery in Utah. But when you've been saying being part of the community, that we really are connected very deeply by Jesus, but it's kind of using the internet and the digital medium. So it's not like when people think of family, or even maybe the community word. People can think in terms of physicality and proximity. And what we're experiencing is Jesus is using all of us, is part of a big dance, a happy dance, and it doesn't really involve proximity. Like when I was growing up, when I was a child or a teenager, or even in my 20s, if people had said, if they'd put the word spiritual community together, I would just say, what's that? I mean, I had gone to a church when I was younger, and I was confirmed in a Christian church, and we had to take Holy Communion, and we things like that, and then we would call fellowship, where we would have a fellowship hall and be together in the church. But that was still very, very physical in my mind, that. And if somebody said spiritual community, I would have just been curious, like, what is that? That sounds a little weird. If they asked me as a child or teens or 20s, they say, what's that? It's something weird. And I think even now, people, when we talk about the community, I'm sure there are people watching that are going, what's this weird community thing? What's Nana going to say now? She's talking about joining the community. Oh gosh, join the community. What's that mean? So we're always like having Jesus power rinse the mind of, like you said earlier, being clueless. What does it mean to join? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. What does it mean? What does it mean to be in community? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. That's kind of the way we go. We're kind of like little children. Well, okay, show me, because we're not getting caught in the words anymore. We're not pushing them away, or we're not clinging to them either. It's beautiful. That's gorgeous. Here we are, just but as they say, riffing. We're riffing for Jesus.
Yeah, that's a joy.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been such a delight, and I've had some people commenting to me recently, just saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm just loving these live streams, live broadcasts, because there's so much joy." And I'm glad, because it's very spontaneous for me. I just saw you online this morning, and I sent you a quick message, and you said, "Oh, I've got a social media meeting in 13 minutes." I said, "Okay, let me know when you're out." And then boom, here we are. So we're in function, but this is so spontaneous. We don't plan these things. I don't have any agendas or any kind of list in front of me. Just boom, we're on the air. So thank you, Nana. Thank you
Thank
for being
you.
with me today. It's
Thank
just a
you.
blessing. It's a blessing to know you. I mean, really, heart to heart. Okay, well,
Thank
thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. See you soon.